Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to this Sunday afternoon live with your host, Brother Abu Musa. And I'm coming live to you from the studios of Apnea Wales in Bradford, inshallah. I hope that you're all well. I hope that you've had an interesting week, because I cannot recall what I've done this week, and it's one of those unusual things where you feel like, you want to talk about something that's happened in the week, but this week I can't really think of anything. It's been a pretty mundane week. But anyway, I hope that you've all been well, and for those of you tuning in on social media, inshallah ta'ala, my salams to you all. I hope that you're all good. This is going out on the Facebook page and Instagram, inshallah ta'ala, and we also have the Apnea Awaz social media pages, which will also be shared upon today. So I'm coming, what date are we on today? It's 15th of September. And inshallah, I have some interesting conversations for you today in the next hour. And also after myself, Brother Abdul Jabbar will be doing his Urdu show, Harati Hazar, which will be discussing some political issues in Kashmir. But anyway, you've got me for the next hour. So let's kick off the show, inshallah. So I want to kick off the show very quickly today. What do I want to talk about? I want to talk about, my jumma experience. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm trying to explore our masjids in Bradford. I'm trying to get a sensation of what are the khutbas that are going on, what are the imams saying, what is good coming out of the imams. And please, when I'm addressing this, it's not a critique of the imams. It's not criticism in terms of trying to expose certain mosques over others. That's not my intention. My intention here, from a perspective of being a Muslim, listening to the khutbah, is where is our community? Because that's my concern, is that where is our community going, and what advice and nasiha is being offered, and what kind of guidance and leadership is the imams offering us as a Muslim community? Because it's key that they're steering the ummah in the right direction. They're steering the ummah and projecting some kind of vision for us, and I think that's really key. So it's not to have a go at any particular mosques. First of all, that's my big disclaimer. And here at Radio Apnea Waz, as always, my views are my views and may not be the views of the radio station. So yeah. So anyway, the khutbah on Friday was in relation to Milad. And before and foremost, I am not here to condemn nor support or kind of say anything negative about the Milad. Those that celebrate it, inshallah, may Allah reward them and let them celebrate it. And those that don't celebrate it, that's fine. That's your prerogative. I think there are far more pressing issues that we have in the ummah right now for us to be feuding over such matters. Personally, that's what I feel. I think when the blood of Muslims is being spilt, we need to prioritize what is worth discussing and what is not. There was a famous example of the time of the Sahabas, I think, where a man came to them, a man came to one of the Sahabas, notable Sahabas, and started debating about the issue of the beard. And I recall this, and the relevance of this conversation will give you some kind of idea of what I'm trying to address in this current situation that I'm speaking of. So I think this particular incident was around the time where Imam Hassan and Hussein were in the Battle of Karbala, and that was all going on in those times where Yazid was the Khalifa. And these men started to discuss the issue of the beard and how long the beard should be. And the Sahaba in question, I've forgotten his name, but he became very angry, very annoyed at this conversation, because he turned around to the men that the grandsons of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have been murdered to that extent, something around that this is going on, and you're discussing a futile issue like the beard. Brothers and sisters, the point here is that when something as relevant as the blood of the Muslims is happening, then we have no other priority of discussion and discourse that should take any precedence over that. This should be the only thing that we should be addressing, and all other issues should become minor issues. And when khatibs and imams are raising these issues and making them a conversation point, then we need to think, what's going on here? Are we here to unite this ummah, or are we doing more to further divide the ummah and create the sectarian kind of mentality? So first and foremost, we need to be very kind of astute with the situation And just to give you some insight into this khutbah, specific khutbah, this Imam related excessive eating and obesity and high cholesterol, basically the state of the Ummah's health to the celebrations of Milad, saying that they have excessive dinner parties where they're extravagantly eating, inviting people, not looking after one's health. The Prophet ﷺ obviously, he encouraged the Muslim to only eat a third, in terms of the stomach. So, the breakdown of the importance of the dietary habits of the Sunnah, which by all means had some validity in what he was saying, but to use this to attack another group of Muslims that were going to celebrate something, to me, I find a bit underhanded, because these are the same groups of Muslims that will be advocating that we should be voting in the political system here. They are the same Muslims that will be pushing for the Muslim vote. They're the same Muslims that will say that you need to give your vote to the lesser of the two evils, etc., etc. And at the same time, they're the ones who are saying that you believe that you think that you are Ashik of Rasul, that you believe that you are the most beloved of the Prophet ﷺ, that you love the Prophet ﷺ most. So where do you why not there? Why do you adopt the Western system of democracy as a political means to achieve your political goals, when the Prophet ﷺ never ever engaged within the Quraysh political system? More than anything, Rasulullah was invited to participate within that system. He was given, leadership position. He was given status. He was given so many temptations to join that, and he refused to join on all accounts. So he made it very clear that I cannot participate within your political system. That for what Allah has revealed to me will be something that will come and rule over you, not become part of you, and not be immersed as part of you. So this is where my frustration comes out, and I think to myself that don't use the Prophet ﷺ Sunnah on one example, on one arm, on one leg, and ignore something that is very comprehensive and very important. Because when you attribute legislation to man, you are taking that attribution from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the only one who can arbitrate and attribute rule and justice to. So we need to really think about these brothers and sisters. And those of you that sat in the congregation, those that are wider amongst the ummah, we need to question these imams. Not with the way that we're trying to put them down, but we need to give them nasiha, that this is not the way for us to have healthy discourse, healthy dialogue. Yeah, we need to look at those factors that unite this ummah. We see so much bloodshed, we see so much disunity, and all these imams are doing is exacerbating this disunity. They're playing on that, and we as an ummah, we need to wake up, and we need to wake up and understand that those that are speaking to divide us are ones that we should be concerned about, and ones that we should really account and bring to account more than anything. So that was kind of my point that I want to raise on that issue there. So for those of you that are listening, if you've taken anything from that, it's not that I'm trying to attack any particular mosque, any particular group, but rather I'm looking at it holistically, and my focus is the ummah. It's not particular sects. It doesn't matter who you follow, what you follow, but rather what we should be thinking about is the betterment of the ummah, not the betterment of my group or my affiliation, my mosque, and we are right and you are wrong. This is not the level of discussion that we need to be having right now. We need to be looking at who the enemy of Allah is. We need to understand what the state of the ummah is and what is the vision of the ummah. Because are we going to continue with the infighting that's going on in this ummah? Are we going to focus on a central goal that unites us all? And that central goal needs to be the political unity of the Muslims. That is the only thing that will resolve our issues, because whilst we continue fighting on these levels, these superficial levels, we'll never get them addressed. They will never be resolved. But what we know is that through a political system, look, if we break down Britain as a nation, there are so many factions, so many groups, so many political affiliations and political groups that exist, but they all exist under the banner of democracy. They all exist under the system of of democracy. They accept that the governorship, the political leadership belongs to the political party that's in position. They will argue, there will be back and forth, but they recognize who is in charge and what the system of discourse is and how to resolve these issues. It's all centralized. Our problem is we don't have that same structure. But when we do have that structure, inshallah, then these kind of debates, these kind of conversations can happen within that framework. But what right now we are not in that state, and we will only get in that state if we start to elevate our thinking. But if we continue with these kind of conversations, then we are never going to progress as a ummah. We will always be fighting fire, and that is one of the problems. So I ask the imams out there to be more thoughtful when it comes to having these discussions, and rather than fueling fire of hate and negativity, we need to think about things that unite us as a ummah, that bring us together as a ummah, because you're not helping the cause here by creating divide. Okay, inshallah, I think that has probably hit that one on a chord, and I might take a short little break, inshallah, and come back with some more discussion and dialogue, inshallah.